Little young thing, go around my dick
with your tongue, deep throw my 9-inch, gut from the front and grind from the side end.
Cut from the
front
and grind from the side end. Grab her hair, smack ass. She's screaming like she's dying.
Hey, bitch.
What's up, sluts?
And welcome to our podcast,
Man Bash Mondays.
I'm author Santana, and I'm author Santana across all social media platforms. But right now, since I'm blocked on my main page because some bitch wanted to report my post, hit me up on Jasmine Jones on Facebook.
I am Clarity Levine on Facebook. Everywhere else, though, I'm Urban Kitty Pride, X-Men reference.
Feel free to drop your favorite X-Men in the comments.
Yes.
Okay, so today's episode title is No Life Like Whole Life.
Yes, and we're going to talk about hoe. First question being, why hoe?
I think that being a hoe is very liberating. And it is reclaiming a slur that is used to like oppress women. And so by us calling ourselves hoes, it's like we taking the power back. It doesn't really bother us. There's so many women that it does bother, and they just go out of their way and they do everything they can to not be called a hoe. And it's like, just say you're a hoe and it all go away.
And you also get called hoes for not necessarily being promiscuous, but like for Snapchat filters or for like hanging around certain people or just like for anything. And I think it's important to say that, like, we are societally conditioned to feel like a woman having her, like, being sexually liberated is a bad thing. So, like, being a hoe, like, in today's society is literally a revolutionary act. Like, you're rebelling against what you're supposed to do.
Is abstaining from sex pro-hoe?
I would say it is. I would say it is because it's not even just that you are a hoe because men don't want you to have sex. It's like they want you to have sex on their terms. Because regardless of not wanting you to have sex, they want you to have sex with them. You know what I mean? They want you to have the type of sex they want you to have. So also the idea of abstaining and being like, I'm not going to have sex for whatever reason, or I'm going to save it for this reason, is an act of like bodily autonomy. And as long as you're not like, oh, no one should have sex, or you're bad if you're having too much sex, then hell yeah, it's pro.
And I have no commentary to add.
Because she doesn't abstain.
I would have. But no, I have abstained before, and I felt powerful. I felt like I had control over myself because I had dealt with times when I didn't have much control, and I felt like I was just like losing myself, and I'm just like, you know what, no, we're not gonna have sex. And I did it, and it was like, bitch, yes. And the reaction and response I got from withholding this pussy was like very like, yes.
And I think it's important that we pro ho, but we not yo ho. Next question, and this one was like a little wordy, but I'm super feeling it. What was the first moment you took control during sex? Not necessarily dominance, but deciding on achieving your own sexual pleasure, primarily, actively, and deliberately. All of those are great words. As opposed to being a means to your partner's pleasure. Santana, take it away.
So basically what that means is, when did you stop allowing that man to masturbate with your body? Okay, so I don't really orgasm from penetration or oral sex. But I found out that my nipples were the key, and so I like,
they don't know where nipples are, so we have to point that out.
Yeah, because y'all can't find the clit. I know y'all can't find it either.
That's so real.
But something about abandonment from men's mothers is the reason why they can't find the clit.
They also can't find the nipples because their moms.
Yeah, because your mom abandoned you. So I'm like, yeah, nigga, suck these titties, and he was doing a really good job, and I orgasmed. I have to be more vocal. Like I had to discover my body, and I had to find out that this is what it took. And like some guys, they suck your titties for like 2 seconds, and that's it. Like, no, bitch, you gonna suck me until I come. And that's what happened. And it was like the best thing ever. Before I give you the mic, I had some really horrible sex. Really horrible.
Man, what?
And I just really found pleasure in telling this nigga about himself. I'm like, nigga, that was like the worst shit ever. Like, you will never fuck me again. You'll never touch me again. You need to really, I'm like, you're too old to be having this, terrible sex. You're too old to be this bad at sex.
What about me? First moment during sex, I took control. Like, I can't call the moment, But honestly, I think it had a lot to do with my journey along like female supremacy, which started with like Black feminism, and then I'm like, nah, like I need a stronger, more aggressive term for myself than feminist. I'm a female supremacist, but and just like realizing like all of the things that happen in the world and all of the things that are stacked against us. And as a woman, I really feel like I need all of the pleasure that is afforded to me. Like I have so few pleasures. Like I need this. So I just started censoring myself and telling myself like, okay, he's gonna do this the way that I want him to do this, or we're not gonna do it at all. As well as cunnilingus, like getting head, like, and not 69, because 69 is trash. 69 is trash, and I need it to be about me. How do you balance sex work and dating? And what is there to know if you are dating a sex worker? That was a good question.
I think that you have to find somebody that is accepting of what you do. I mean, it is some men out here that are okay with it. There are some women who are sex workers and they're in happy relationships. You just have to be open, keep the lines of communication open, tell them, at the door, like, bitch, I sell nudes. I'm a stripper.
Make sure you call them a bitch. That's really important.
Yes, because it's
bitch.
Yes, it asserts your boundaries. Like, bitch, look, this is what I do. And if you are not going to compensate me for the things that I buy with my money that I make from sex work, then you have to go. That's just as simple as it gets. If you don't like it, good fucking bye. But you're not going to go anywhere.
Listen, I've heard stories. Her pussy is tight as a black rubber band. I don't think that you should take it so personal. I know everyone's different, but in my experience and the experiences I've shared with other sex workers, we view it very objectively. They view it very objectively. Like, okay, this is a thing that I'm doing. This is a job. This is just something this is very transactional. A blow job. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So know that
it's just like when men say, oh, I cheated on you, but the bitch didn't mean shit. They say men don't cheat with their emotions. I wouldn't call sex work cheating, but I'm saying with the same way that we don't put the feelings into it. Like, I wouldn't catch feelings for a trick. I wouldn't be in love with somebody that I'm tricking with. This is a transaction.
Right. To another point, like to the point of dating a sex worker, if you got an issue with it, don't. I mean, that kind of goes for everything, honestly. Like, if you're going to have an issue with it, like, just don't. I was a hoe when you met me. Like, don't take that as nothing to devalue the person, and if you feel an inkling of that, you will end up doing that, don't be with that person. Because like you wasting their time, and the time that they in a relationship with you, they could be spending that time making money with somebody.
Exactly. How to set boundaries during sex work?
Well, first of all, be aware of what your boundaries are and why. It's kind of like BDSM in the sense of like you have hard limits and you have soft limits. Maybe there are things that you will only do under certain circumstances. Maybe there are things that you're just not going to do ever. I think that needs to be something that you get really secure with in yourself first. People will push you as far as like they feel like you can go. I feel like if it becomes one thing, oh, she'll bend on that. Mm-hmm. You deserve to have boundaries. If you're a hoe in the sense of, I mean, this was about sex work, but just in general, like if you're a person who's promiscuous, you've done a lot of stuff, you still deserve to have boundaries too and things that you won't do. So never let anybody make you feel like, all right, well, at the end of the day, I'm giving you money, or at the end of the day, you slept with all them people, so why is it different with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you deserve to have those boundaries, and I think that's where it starts and ends.
Yes, and also bring a weapon. Mm-hmm. You have to be assertive as fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. If I tell you something, that's just what it is. I have this thing, I don't like kissing. I kiss certain guys, so that's not something that's a super hard boundary for me. But if you just like a guy and I don't really like you like that, I just want to fuck you, don't put your goddamn mouth on me, bitch. I will smack them lips right off your face.
You got to call him a bitch in this case too. Like, make sure.
Like, bitch, I will loosen your lips, okay?
Now, this question is one of the heavier questions, and the person who asked this question, I appreciate you. At what point do we stop supporting sex workers' choices and treat them with agency as victims? And we're not talking about trafficking. This person alluded to like sex workers who eventually like get on drugs, or they're doing sex work out of like coming from a dark place or something like that. And it's all like, okay, agency over your bodies and everything. but also like be careful kind of too.
I feel like everybody should be introspective with themselves before they get into sex work. You should definitely talk with yourself about it. Go to therapy. Make sure that you are hoeing from the heart and not from hurt. You have to know yourself. Some people can't handle it. I just had a girl in my Instagram DM, like she was like slut shaming on her post, and I said something about it. So she came into my inbox. She was like, "I used to be a hoe. I used to do this and I used to do that," and she was ashamed of herself. And it's just like, sex work is not for everybody, but it's some of us that could just go out there and do anything, and not really have it weigh so heavy on our conscience because we're looking at it from an objective point, or we just not that emotional about it. But some people are. So I feel like you should definitely check yourself before you wreck yourself.
What we need to do is decriminalize sex work. That's what really needs to happen. I don't care if they decide, okay, well, we're going to have to, have a sex work tax, or, we're going to bring brothels back, or we're going to I think that's bring brothels back. That's an alliteration. Bring brothels back. But yeah, I don't know what it would take exactly or what that looks like, but I do know there's almost a campaign against like sex work, and a literal campaign. I think it's called Sesta Fosta, treating sex work like sex trafficking, and it often is not. But when people in general are doing full service sex work and they're pushed into like, okay, now you can't, people are still going to do it. Prostitution is the oldest profession. People will never stop wanting to pay for sex or sex related things, and thus people will not stop selling them. And the thing is, people who harm sex workers or whatever, I feel like they're often doing it from a place of knowing that they can. We also can put sex workers in better positions where they wouldn't have to have all of like the pain and stuff about it. They would be able to do it more proudly and openly, for lack of a better way of putting it. And it would be like a legitimate thing.
Do you ever think society will accept whole life?
I think you like that high pitched eye to let you know I'm about to say something. It is accepted. And I think that words and terms and ways of life, in a lot of ways, they only have the power that we give them. Just like if a man call you a hoe and you're like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And how mad that would make him and how he wants to weaponize it against you. I think that even people that don't support hoeing in the sense of like they're not hoes or they don't want, I think that they need to become more tolerant and more accepting and more like live and let live about the situation, and that will also help people be who they are. So I think people need to get that about themselves. What do you think, Santana?
I'm a mother first, but I'm a hoe directly after that. And I feel like people are accepting it more. It's just some people that I feel they don't really want you to be a hoe because they don't want you to own it. They want to feel like they did something to you when they had sex with you. They don't want you to have enjoyed it, or like, I'm, just to gloat in it. They just want to feel like they did something to you, or they can have this control over you. And it's like, when you own that shit, it's like, you will see that it does nothing for either one of you. Like, oh, so now that you can't weaponize this word against me, you have nothing. You are nothing.
They are nothing. So that concludes that portion. Now we're gonna do this thing. It's this called segment. That's what you call it. It's not called a thing. It's called segment.
Books, beats, and business. Now, first up, we have me, author Santana, with her books, bitch. Okay. This is Womanizer, and I wrote this shit like, I don't remember. But it's about this dude, his name's Sage, right? And like, he's a successful consultant in public relations. And then
she's reading her own.
One day, he's eating Chinese food on the couch, and somebody goddamn broke into his house and tried to kill him. But the funny thing is, he has a wife, and they've been estranged for 2 years. Did I say exchanged? I meant estranged.
You're giving away so much about the
No, this is like this is the excerpt I put on Facebook, so it's like already out there. So like, how did she end up dead in his bedroom if they've been estranged and he estranged and she ain't seen him in 2 years? Like, how did she end up there? So like, that's where the mystery starts, and it's like crazy as fuck who really did the shit. Wow. This is like the ultimate whole Bible. Like, look at this. This is like better than the Bible. It's a whole Bible. Isabella is a motherfucker. Do you hear me? She's doing all types of shit. She's married for money. a contract marriage. But guess what? She's going to find a way to sneak her some dick on the side anyway. Motherfuckers get a taste of that pussy and don't know how to act, and it just turns into a shit show. It has a crazy ending. It has crazy everything. So it's called She Was a Thug's Weakness, and you should definitely read this shit. Then, oops, my bridge card. Excuse me. This is the other side of a thug, and this is book number 2 in my thug series. It just gets a little more gritty. It gets a little more like thuggy and in the streets and shit like that. I think niggas will like this one more. But you don't like all of them because I said so. Then I have the third part to this. It's called Thug's Revenge, but I don't have the physical copy. So fuck you, and you can order it off Amazon. Amazon.com. The ebook versions of these are respectively 99 cents, $2.99, and then book 3 is $3.99. And this one is also 99 cents for the ebook version. And I think they all range from the paperbacks from like $12.99 to $15.99 if you want to get the paperback. So Amazon.com, Author Santana.
For the beats portion, I want to plug Senpai Flames. That's SINPAI. And then flames, like things that like when they be burning. He actually has a new song. I think it's featuring or with like Clout Village, and it's called Henny Skin. Henny Skin. He can do anything with his henny skin. I don't know what that was. The CEO of our very own CEO of Mythoi Media, yes. Kevin Midas.
He got the Midas touch.
But Kevin Midas actually has a project out called Nebula or Nebula EP. It says EP in it, and it is an EP, and it's great. And for the business portion, support pussy. Black business. Support her pussy. No, but support that too. Why not? No life like whole life ever. But there's Vane Boutique. If you're in the greater Detroit area, it's on the west side, 7 Mile and Livernois area. If you want to look at their her stuff. Fashion Avenue. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? If you want to look at their stuff, it's Vane Boutique on Instagram. Everything's spelled like, normally Vane and then boutique, one word, and then an underscore after it. So Vane Boutique _. And they ship too if you're not in the greater Detroit area. For our fans in London. So that concludes our episode.
Guys, share this video, like it, subscribe, all that great shit. And I hope y'all put your favorite X-Men in the comments.
Please do. Even if y'all got to Google.
Because my favorite X-Men, I think, is Wolverine, but I'm not sure.
I love Wolverine.
Yes, I do too.
Did you see Logan?
No, I didn't like it. I hate it.
You didn't like it?
But you know who is fine as hell? Young Magneto.
Oh, I think that Gambit was fine as hell in
Young Magneto.
Gambit was fine as hell in one of them Wolverine movies. I forgot which one it was, but Gambit appeared real quick.
Yeah.
And can I also say they need to hurry up and make a Gambit movie? But also, I'm so happy that it didn't happen with Channing Tatum because Channing Tatum is not Gambit. He's very goofy looking. I'm sorry, I don't want to lose subscribers for that, but he has such a square rectangle. He has such a rectangle face. It's so thick. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, but thank you for watching.
Yes, bitch.
We don't have like a conclusionary.
I don't think we need one. We could just ramble until it's time for it to go off.
And it just fades.